That I'll give you from Strategize to Win is the key when you are interviewing for your summer jobs, when you are interviewing for a scholarship opportunity, when you are interviewing for college. Remember that the key to a successful interview is simply understanding what the buyer is buying. There are very few jobs where you absolutely have to have some experience in something else in order to get that job. Yes, the job description may say 2 years experience in this, 5 years experience in that. But please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that is preferred. That is not mandatory. They would like you to have experience, but you don't necessarily have to have that experience in order to get that job. If you want to be successful in that interview, just understand what the buyer is really buying. When I got my first Wall Street opportunity, the only thing I had on my resume was one job. Who wants to guess where that job was? Who said? McDonald's. That's exactly right. That's the only thing I had on my resume was McDonald's. Now you might say, what does flipping hamburgers have to do with selling stocks and bonds? But when I sat in that interview chair, I said to the interviewer that I was made crew member of the month while I was still on probation. For those of you who don't know, McDonald's puts you on probation for 90 days before they actually give you the job. So I was made crew member of the month while I was still on probation. I consistently had the highest grossing register every night that I worked. I was made a manager while I was still in high school. And oh, by the way, I would consistently win the prize for suggesting sales. You know, when you go into McDonald's and you say, can I get a Big Mac? They generally will say, can I get you a large order fry? I would always say, can I get you an apple pie with that? So I won the prize for suggesting sales. What did that say to the interviewer? Wow, she's respected by her peers. Wow, she has an appetite for winning. Oh, she knows how to penetrate client thought. What do you have to do to be successful on Wall Street? You have to be respected by your clients and your peers. You have to have an appetite for winning. And you have to know how to penetrate client thought. They could teach me about stocks and bonds, but what they were really buying were those other attributes. So all I had to do was to connect the dots between what they were buying and what I was selling. So let me get a brave soul here. Who has a job in particular that they're interested in? No, you don't have to have a job that you want, but you're not sure about how you would interview for that. Come on, you raise your hand, Is there a job that you're interested in? Yes, ma'am.
I want to be a college professor.
You want to be a college professor. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself now, and I'm going to tell your story as if I was interviewing to be a college professor. Your story, not my story. So give me a little bit about yourself now. Why'd you come to Tucson High?
I came to Tucson High for the performing arts.
For the performing arts, okay. Why are you interested in being a college professor?
Because I want to teach creative writing. I have a passion for writing and I want to pass it on to people.
Okay, all right, tell me a little bit about your extracurriculars.
So far I'm only a basketball manager.
You're what?
I'm a basketball manager.
Basketball manager, what year are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior now. So what else have you done besides be a basketball manager? Did you play on the team? Okay, have you been with the basketball team since your freshman year?
Sophomore, I think.
Sophomore year, okay. So what other things did you do?
That's pretty much it. I don't have a lot.
Okay. What about in your community? What about at home? Did you do any Girl Scouts? Did you do anything in church?
I was Keystone Vice President at Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, so you were involved in the Boys and Girls Club. Okay, and what does Keystone Vice President do?
They basically control all the meetings, which doesn't always have to be there.
They control all the meetings. Okay, so what's your name?
Lenise Virgo?
Anise, okay.
No, Lenise.
Lenise, okay. Thank you, Lenise. All right, so what do we know about Lenise? She was Keystone Vice President at the Boys and Girls Club. She's interested in being a college professor. She is manager of the basketball team here. She came to Tucson because they have a good writing program and she's passionate about creative writing. And she wants to be a college professor because she wants to pass that on. Okay, so that's one part of our equation. The person that's interviewing her to be a college professor, what are they buying? What I mean by what are they buying, what are the key success factors for being a college professor? What are they looking for? What might you need to be good at? Good communicator. Energy. Good college professor. What might make you good? Loyal. Qualified degrees. Be organized. Communication skills. Leadership. So let me offer to you that what the buyer is buying is a good leader. Somebody who's a good listener. Somebody who's a good communicator. Somebody who's really organized. Somebody who has the skills and credentials, right? So if she's sitting in the interview, here's the story Denise should tell. And let's say it's University of Arizona, right? Just because, right? So I'm interested in being a college professor here at the University of Arizona because first of all, I love Arizona. I grew up here. This is near and dear to my heart. I'm also interested in creative writing. I've always been, which is one of the reasons I went to Tucson High School. While I was at the high school, I was very involved there. I was the manager of the basketball team because I like working in team-oriented environments. It's really easy for me to build relationships. I also did that at the Boys and Girls Club where I had an opportunity to meet kids from all kinds of environments and organize them and motivate them. And that's one of the reasons I'm interested in being a professor because I believe there are 3 things that you need to be in order to be a good professor. You need to have a credential, which is why I'm coming here, because I want to be in an environment, frankly, where they are all about excellence, and that was also consistent with my undergrad when I was here at the University of Arizona. I also want to work with a lot of different kids, and I think you have to be really good at that. You have to build those relationships and be an excellent communicator. And the other thing is, I think you have to be passionate about what you do, and I'm passionate about creative writing. Here are some of the articles that I've written. So I think I'd be a great professor because I have those skills, good communicator, can build the relationships, and I know the Arizona environment, and oh, by the way, I'm really good at working with kids from all kinds of environments. That is Lisa's story. That's not my story. So you see what I did? I told her story in the context of what the buyer is buying. So that is the key to a successful interview. Just understand what the buyer is buying. So whenever you're going in for a job, understand. If you're going to work for McDonald's, what do they care about? Somebody who has a lot of energy, somebody who learns quickly, somebody who can listen, somebody who is self-motivated, somebody who wants to serve that customer in 60 seconds and likes the challenge of being able to do that. And somebody who is solution-oriented. No matter what, the customer is always right, and you can make sure that the customer is happy. And if you show them that you are interested in making sure that they have a good experience so they come back to McDonald's, they're going to hire you all day long. But if you show no energy, no interest, and it's just kind of okay, then who's interested? Would you want somebody like that on your team? And ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do, always give your best. Always give your best. Sometimes I will tell you that your best will not be good enough, but it's okay. It may not win that what you want, but it will give you the personal satisfaction of knowing that you gave your all. And every experience that you have will give you one or 2 things. A blessing, meaning you'll get that thing you were going for the first time, or the lesson. Now you know how to do it better. Either way, it's always worth giving your best shot. The last message that I'm going to leave you with and open it up to Q&A is do not be afraid of taking risks. Do not be afraid of taking risks. If you consider yourself a leader in the 21st century, you must be comfortable taking risks. Like I said, if nothing else, you now have the experience because you tried. And that is going to help you for the next thing that you do. Everything that you do in life, but don't be afraid to take the risk. As I like to say, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Because I will tell you that fear is very paralyzing. Fear will be a major impediment for you to obtain and achieve your goals. And as I like to say, fear has no place in your success equation. Fear has no place in your success equation. Anytime you approach anything in your life from a position of fear, you're going to always underpenetrate that. You're always going to get less than you can get out of it because you were scared. So be scared. How many people in this room has never made a mistake? And you all live to talk about it, right? So don't be afraid of making a mistake. Don't be afraid of failing. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Right? It just use that to inform the next thing that you do. So I'm going to stop there and open it up to you to any questions that you might have. Questions?
I will start the conversation. So these are all juniors and seniors. So is there a particular field or industry that you see highlighted for opportunity more so than others? Are there 2 or 3 that stand out from a capital market standpoint that we maybe just want to throw out to the...
Yes, if I were a sophomore like my friend here, or even a junior or a senior, I would tell you that I would think about 3 areas in particular that are of interest. Number 1, I would definitely think about financial services because it continues to be extremely rewarding because it is dynamic. You can never master it all because it's always changing. So it keeps you on your intellectual edge. The second one would be technology. Technology has been a major disruptor over the last decade, and I don't see anything on the horizon that will stop that train. And the third will be healthcare, because we are in an environment and in a country where the demographic is shifted, and there are going to be so many needs around prosthetics and other kinds of biotechnology innovations, whether it's devices or drugs, that I think is going to continue to make that a very interesting space. So if I had no particular passion and I was starting with a blank space, I'd probably be thinking about those 3 areas because I just think there are so many opportunities there and so many different directions you can go into.
Isn't this a biotech specialty school?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we're at the heart of it.
Yeah, and I had the privilege of taking every biotech company that Morgan Stanley sponsored into the public markets. I did every single one of those deals from 1994 to 2000. So I know a lot about the biotechnology space. Other questions?
We've got a mic down here, so put your hand up if you've got a question, and we're going to run a mic up.
Or I can repeat the question, either way. Yes, ma'am.
What's your best advice for being a woman in a male-dominated career?
Yes, the best advice for being a woman in a male-dominated career is own your power. Yes. Don't ever let anybody think you can't do anything, or don't start thinking to yourself, oh, they're thinking I'm a woman, right? Unless you're clairvoyant, you don't know what they're thinking, number 1. And number 2, yes, you are a woman, right? And in my opinion, if you are the only one in the room, then you have a major advantage because everybody's looking at you.